Hello, today is April 5th or April 6th. It's week 2, day 1. We're going to click right here. It'll take you to today's lesson. Attendance is right here at the top. Our objectives are listed here. Our first goal is going to be students will solve linear equations and inequalities with one variable. This video will be placed right here just below the objectives, and then your assignment is here on Edulastic. So let's get started. We are going to take a look at equations, really. So these are your objectives. What balancing acts are happening in this picture? So this is kind of like an equation. This is the rock here is the equal sign. Everything on the left side has to equal everything on the right side in order for it to maintain perfect balance. And that's exactly what you have to do for equations. So this is review. We've done this in the past before. We're going to start with this type of equation. So normally you would look for distributive property, and then you would look for combining like terms, and then you would look for moving the variable to the left, and then you would do the inverse of a subtraction, the inverse of addition, the inverse of division, the inverse of multiplication. An inverse just means opposite. You're going to do the opposite of what it says. So if we're looking at this problem here, there's no distributive property. There aren't any parentheses. There's no like terms because like terms have to be on the same side of the equal sign. There is a variable on the right side. We want to move it to the left. So it's a positive 4x. To move it, we're going to subtract 4x. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. And so 6 minus 4 is 2. The x comes with it. Plus 1 drops down. The equal sign drops down. These cancel each other out. Minus 3 drops down. And then I'm going to start to solve. I'm going to get rid of the plus 1 first. I'm going to subtract 1. 2x drops down. The 1's cancel. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. You can use Desmos Scientific Calculator if you'd like. And then there is no addition, there is no division, there is multiplication. So we're going to do the inverse of that. So we're going to divide by 2. The 2's cancel. X drops down. Equal sign drops down. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. The next problem that we're going to do is B right here. There's no distributive property. There aren't any like terms. There is a variable on the left side, or on the right side. We're going to subtract 4x from both sides. You could move it to the right if you wanted to, but I like to move everything to the left. 2, I wrote 2 there, but it should be 4. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. X comes with it. Minus 6 drops down. These cancel out, but since they cancel out and there's nothing over here, this has just become 0. And then you're going to add 6 to both sides, the inverse of subtraction. And by both sides, I mean both sides of the equal sign. Negative 2x drops down. 6's cancel. Equal sign drops down. 0 plus 6 is 6. Your last and final step is to do the inverse of multiplication. Divide by negative 2. These cancel. X drops down. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And a positive divided by a negative is negative. So it becomes negative 3. Looking at this side, there aren't any distributive property. There are like terms. Negative x and 7x are like each other. Remember that if there's not a number written, we assume it's a 1. So negative 1 plus 7 is 6. The x stays with it. minus 54 drops down, equal sign drops down, and the 0 drops down. We're now going to start solving. We're going to inverse of subtraction. We're going to add 54. Six x drops down. 54 cancels. 0 plus 54 is 54. And then we're left with dividing by 6 so we can get the x by itself. The 6's cancel. X drops down. Equal sign drops down. 54 divided by 6 is 9. Again, you can use Desmos Scientific Calculator if you need to. For this one, we're going to go through distributive property first. We're going to do negative 7 times x, so we get negative 7x. Negative 7 times 5 is negative 35. Everything else just drops straight down. Then we're going to combine like terms. 3x and negative 7x are like each other. So 3x plus negative 7x is negative 4x. Minus 35 drops down. Equal sign drops down. X drops down. Negative 35 drops down. We're then going to move the variable to the left. So to get rid of a positive 1x, we're going to subtract 1x on both sides. And then, so what happens is negative 4 minus x is going to become negative 5x. Negative 35 drops down. The x's cancel. Negative 35 drops down. We're then going to add 35 to both sides. So what ultimately happens is we're going to write our answer up here. Is the negative 5x will come down. The 35s cancel. The 35 cancels. There's nothing left on this side that when it cancels, so that means it equals 0. And then we're going to divide by negative 5 to finish up. So these will cancel. X is equal to 0 over 0 divided by anything is simply 0. So x is equal to 0. Again, it's just about going through these steps here. So same thing here. It doesn't matter if they're fractions or decimals or anything like that. You still do them in the same order. So I'm going to write them out again. Distributive property, collecting like terms, move the variable to the left, and then inverse of subtraction, inverse of addition, inverse of division, inverse of multiplication. Now this is really where the Desmos Scientific Calculator will come in handy, because some of you struggle with fractions. But we're going to do distributive property first. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. The equal sign comes down. This time we're going to do 1/2 times 6. And again, this is where your Desmos Scientific Calculator is going to come in. Just type in 1/2. Remember, fractions are just division. Times 6. If you're not sure, it's going to come out to be 3. So this is now going to be 3x. The same thing you want to do again. If 1/2 times 4, so and you're going to change that to a 4. It comes out to be 2. So we did that. It comes out to be positive 2. We no longer have any fractions, so you might not need the calculator anymore. We're going to move there aren't like terms, so we're going to move the variable left. We're going to subtract 3x. And so 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Minus 10 comes down. The equal sign comes down. These cancel out, and 2 drops down. We're going to add 10 to both sides. Negative 1x drops down. The 10s cancel. Equal sign drops down. 2 plus 10 is 12. And then we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. The 1s will cancel. X drops down. 12 divided by negative 1 is negative 12. And then we'll move on to the next problem. It says 1/2 x plus 2/3 x plus 5 equals 5/2 x plus 6. Now, a lot of people get worried about this. We're going to combine like terms. There isn't distributive property. But all you really need to do is pull up your calculator and like terms, 1/2 plus 2/3. So you're going to type that in. 1/2 plus 2/3. And you'll notice it's going to give you a fraction. Just click this little circle here and it's going to give you, or gave you a decimal. You click the circle, it'll give you a fraction. So this is going to be 7/6. So 7 over 6, the x comes with it. Plus 5 drops down. It's equal to 5/2 x plus 6 drops down. Then I want to move the variable left, so I'm going to subtract 5/2 x. Subtract 5/2 x. So again, I'm going to go back to my calculator because I'm not great with fractions. I'm going to do 7 divided by 6, 7/6, minus 5/2. Again, I want the fraction version. So it comes out to be negative 4/3. The x comes with it. Plus 5 drops down. These cancel out just like before. And the 6 drops down. And then I want to move everything to the right. So I'm going to subtract 5 because that's the opposite of plus 5. Negative 4/3 x drops down. The 5s cancels. 6 minus 5 is 1. And then this means negative 4/3 times x. So I'm going to divide by negative 4/3. So I can undo it just like I would before. Same thing here. Divide by negative 4/3. So I know these are going to cancel out because it's just like before. The x is going to drop down. The equal sign is going to drop down. So now I got to do 1 divided by negative 4/3. And I'm just going to go to my calculator because it'll make it a lot easier. 1 divided by negative 4/3. And then I'm going to click the fraction button, and it comes out to be negative 3/4. So why Desmos is super important, because sometimes we struggle with fractions, and we can just type in the fractions into Desmos Scientific Calculator. If you have questions about that, you can send me an email, but it should make it a lot easier for you. Looking at this one, we've got decimals, we got fractions. It looks kind of long. Honestly, it's the same process. Just take your time. You're going to do distributive property first. So let's do that. We're going to do 6 times x. It's going to come out to, or negative 6 times x. It's going to be negative 6x. Then we're going to do negative 6 times negative 3/2. Again, we're going to go to our calculator. Negative 6 times negative 3/2 comes out to be 9, and it's a positive 9, so we're going to put plus 9. Everything else just drops down. Negative 3.1 x plus 7 plus or minus 7.4x equal sign, and then 1.5x. So then we're going to do like terms. Again, our calculator is going to come in super handy for this. So we're going to do this side first. So the 3.1 and the 7.4 are what's like each other. It's a negative 3.1. It's always plus negative 7.4. So that gives us negative 10.5. The x comes with it. This plus 7 drops down, so this becomes plus 7. Equal sign drops down. Then we're going to do it on this side. We got 1.5 plus negative 6. Gives us negative 4.5x. Negative 4.5x. Plus 9 just drops straight down. Now we want to move the variable to the left. To do that, we're going to add 4.5x. Again, we're going to go back to our calculator. We're going to do negative 10.5 plus 4.5, which comes out to be negative 6. X comes with it. Plus 7 drops down. Equal sign drops down. We know these cancel. And then the 9 drops down. Now we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. Negative 6x drops down. These cancel. Equal sign drops down. 9 minus 7 is 2. And then we're left with divide by negative 6. These cancel. X is going to drop down. It's equal. So we go to our calculator, and we can simply type in 2 divided by negative 6. And it gives us a decimal, but I like fractions better, so click that circle, and it's going to come out to be negative 1/3. That's why it's super important to learn how to use Desmos, because it makes the math a lot easier for you. So this is x is equal to negative 1/3. I do want you to take a little bit of your time and stuff. This is a hard problem. Maybe try working it out while I'm doing it. But I do want you to take the time and try to see if you can figure out this one. So pause the video, see if you can figure this one out. 2 times c and 2 times 5. You're going to get 5c plus 4 is equal to 2c minus 10. We're then going to move the variable to the left, so we're going to subtract 2c. We're going to get 5 minus 2 is 3. C comes with it. Plus 4 drops down. Equal sign drops down. These cancel. And then the minus 10 drops down. We're then going to subtract 4 from both sides. (3c) drops down. These cancel out. It's equal to negative 10 minus 4 is negative 14. And then we're left with divide by 3. These will cancel out. C drops down. And then we can use our calculator. Negative 14 divided by 3 comes out to be negative 4.666 repeated. Change it to a fraction. You could leave it as negative 14 over 3, but that's not an option here. But what I can tell you is if you look at the decimal, it's going to be, see that negative 4 up there? The only one that even has negative 4 in it is A. So that's going to help you out and be able to do it. You can take a break right now if you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So for this one, we would just do, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. You would get 2/3 to drop down. X comes with it. Equal sign drops down. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. And then you would divide both sides by 2/3. These cancel. X drops down. And then you would go back to your calculator and you would do negative 4 divided by 2/3, which comes out to be negative 6. And then that means A is our answer again. Now you can take a break if you'd like, but I'm going to keep going so that we can get through the assignment. It says you have a coupon worth $18 off of the purchase of a graphing calculator. At the same time, the calculator is offered with a discount of 15%, but no further discounts may be applied. The calculator costs $115 at full price. Determine the cost of the calculator with the coupon and the cost with the 15%. So basically, you're going to take 115 and you're going to subtract. You're going to subtract 18 so you can figure out the cost for the coupon. So 115 minus 18 is 97. So we put 97 here. And that's dollars. Put the sign there if you'd like. And then we're going to go back to the calculator and figure out what it would be for 15% off. So what you do, you figure out, you take 115 and you multiply it by 15%. 15% of 115 is 17.25. Then you take the 115 and subtract the 17.25, which comes out to be 97.25. Or I'm sorry, 0.75, I think. Yeah, 97.75. And the next question says, which is a better buy? You would just put the coupon because it's 75 cents cheaper. For this next problem, this is kind of hard. It says a triangle ABC is congruent, equal or the same angle and same side measures to triangle DFG. Side AB is congruent to side DF. Find the values of X. Now, here's the important part. Congruent just means equal. So what you're basically going to do is take this you're going to take the one side and it's going to be set equal to the other side. And then you just go out and you do the operation so that you can get it done. So you're going to do distributive property first. That becomes 6x plus 30. It's equal to 12x plus 12. There aren't like terms, so we're going to move on to moving the variable left. So we're going to subtract 12x. Again, you can use calculators to do this if you would like. 6 minus 12 is negative 6. X comes with it. Plus 30 drops down. Equal sign drops down. 12 drops down because these 12s cancel. We're going to subtract 30, so we can do the inverse of addition. Negative 6x drops down. The 30s cancel. 12 minus 30 is negative 18. And then we're going to divide by negative 6. These will cancel. X drops down. Equal sign drops down. A negative divided by a negative is positive. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So x is equal to 3. For a science project, Sammy observed a chipmunk and a squirrel stashing acorns in holes. The chipmunk hid 3 acorns in each of its holes it dug. The squirrel hid 4 acorns in each of the holes that it dug. They each hid the same number of acorns. Although the squirrel needed fewer holes, how many acorns did the chipmunk hide? So this is really tough. Here's basically how I would do it. I would say that the chipmunk is X. So this is the chipmunk's holes. Chipmunk's holes. And then the squirrel's holes are going to be equal to the chipmunk's holes minus 4. So, and then we know that, so then once we know that, the chipmunk hid 3, and then the squirrel hid 4 per hole. So we can set up the equation to where it is 3x, the chipmunk, is equal to 4 times x minus 4. And then we would work this out and figure out what x is. That's going to tell you how many holes they dug. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And then 3x drops down. Move the variable left, minus 4x, minus 4x. You get negative 1x. The 4 negative, these cancel. Negative 16 drops down. We divide by negative 1 on both sides. These cancel. X drops down. A negative divided by a negative is positive. 16 divided by 1 is 16. So I now know that the chipmunk dug 16 holes. But its question says how many acorns did the chipmunk hide? Well, he did 3 per hole. So what you're going to do is take 3 times 16, and that will equal 48. Again, you can use the calculator. So the chipmunk hid 48 acorns. One of the cool things is there's other ways to do this problem. You could totally make a chart. You could graph this if you wanted to. So if you know another way and you still consistently get 48, there's nothing wrong with that, and you can do it your way. Now we're to types of solutions. One solution is always going to come out to where like it's x equals a number or r equals a number or whatever. For no solution, it's going to end up being where the variables disappear and you're going to get the wrong answer. Like 10 does not equal 4. And when that happens, that's called no solution. Infinite solutions, when you solve it out, you'll get something like 10 equals 10 or a number equals the same number. And this is true So that means every number you use for x will work. One key way to know this is you can notice how everything is the same on both sides. As soon as you see that everything's the same on both sides, you can automatically say infinite solutions. When you see that they have the same variable, but they have different regular numbers, you can automatically say no solution. So here's some examples of this. So we're going to combine these. This will become 7x minus 9 drops down. 8x minus x is 7x. Negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9. Everything's the same, right? So this means infinite solutions. So this is infinite. Another way you might see this is all real numbers. And as soon as I see that these are the same, but they don't have the same regular numbers, I know that this is no solution. No number will work. So again, looking at this, everything's the same. This is infinitely many solutions. Looking at this, they have the same variable, but they have different regular numbers. This is no solution. As soon as I see that they don't have the same variable, I know that it's one solution. Again, they have the same variable, but they have different regular numbers. I know that this is no solution. Hopefully you're doing well with this. You're going to go back to this and you're going to click on your Edulastic assignment. You're going to sign in. Mine's going to look different from yours because it's the teacher side, but I'm going to give you a glimpse of the assignment real quick. It'll say lesson 3 is what you're looking to do. So we're looking at this one here. And when it comes up, it should have this question as your first question. And so you're just going to solve it. This is a lot easier than we went harder in the lesson. This is easier. So do distributive property first, work that out. You can skip through questions and stuff. Again, make sure that you answer them all. These just...
Question. Solve 2.
Yep. Use a calculator. It'll read the problem out for you is what it does. Same thing here. You're just going to go through and try to solve these and stuff. Do the best that you can. I do want to mention this one's kind of weird. It says null set. So -2, -5, that's going to become -5, -5, -5, 8, and then 8 and -12 become -4. This is going to be null set. It's another way to say no solution. And then this is just like I did on the last one. Work these out, see if it's one solution, no solution, or infinite solutions. And then same thing here. You're going to, Sally is solving a linear question. Her final 2 steps are this here. Select the statement that correctly interprets Sally's solution. And then you're going to answer whatever it says, whatever you think is the correct answer there. This is a review. Remember that the volume formula for a sphere is volume is equal to 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. I do want to point out that this time it says you use 3.14 for pi, so you're not going to be able to use the pi button on the calculator. Same thing here. It says use 3.14 for pi. It says how much water will a cone hold? The diameter is this, height is this. The cone formula for volume is equal to 1/3 pi times the radius squared times the height. So again, make sure you use 3.14 for the for pi. Looking at the next question, this is Pythagorean theorem. Understand that A, B, and C, where A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, which if that's true, C squared minus A squared is equal to B squared. This is what we did before spring break, so if you have questions, you might consider going back and looking at some of those videos. This is just place these where you think these goes. Square roots are use a calculator. Find out what the square root is, like pull it up. You're going to type in square root 42. Oh, 6.4. Okay, so take this one, place it right there. Right? It's according to the calculator, it was between that. Do the same thing for this one. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.